Today we're going to walk through how to build this 2x4 chair in Onshape with the beam command. So let's get started. So we're going to start off with Onshape, and I am already logged in. This is a free subscription. We're going to go to Create, Document. Alright, now we have our Onshape open. Alright, to add that beam feature, we need to go over here to Add Custom Features. We're going to go with Feature Script Samples, and we're going to type in here, beam, enter. That's the first one. Version 28 is mine. Alright, and then I would just click on this guy right here, and click on beam. And then, I haven't used this one yet, but I'm going to click on that one too. So both of these are added to your toolbar. Alright, and then now to see them, let's click out of that. Let's go over here, and here's my beam and my beam profile generator. So now we're going to start on our front view. We're going to hide our right view, left click, right click, hide, left click, right click, hide. And then we want to put this normal to view. Let's build our first side of our chair. Click on sketch, that guy, and we're going to build our square off that point right there. We're going to hit D for dimension, or that button right there, get our first dimension, and this is going to be 24 inches. Okay, zoom out, middle mouse button, scroll wheel to get that zoom out. All right, let's hit a dimension here, and here we're going to do 12 inches tall. Okay, I'm going to take this and slide this over. So that is 12 inches. That's going to be your sitting height. And now we're going to put a little angle on this, a 10-degree angle on that surface, on that line right there. So let's go over here, line, there, click this button down to there. Okay, now we're going to go to trim, and we're going to trim these. Okay, and now we can put an angle on this. So D for dimension, or that right, click that right there. This guy and this guy, that lines, and we want to put 10 degrees. Okay. I can finish this one. Now we're going to start using that beam command. So we're going to go over to here, beam. Okay, and now we want to make sure that says timber and lumber, and then you can choose 2x4. Okay. Now we want to click on the lines we want to start creating. So that's number 1, and I want to pull this out. Then I want to hit Shift Enter to continue this dialog box, but create a new one. It hid my sketch, so I'm just going to click on this little eyeball. I can click on this edge right here, pull that out. Okay, say okay. I can hit Shift Enter. Pull this one out. Shift Enter. And pull this guy out. And we can say okay on that guy. Now, if we want to start to pull these and start using trim command, so we can actually, this was the very first one, so I can't trim that one. I'm going to have to trim this guy to this guy. So let's let's find, that's number 4, the highlighted number 4. Then we can go over here to trim, and we can click on this face to trim to. All right, and it won't let me trim to this face. It will error out, so I can show you what it does. Click there, and it just totally disappears. So I can pull that back. I'll do a replace face to get that to that face. Say okay. So next I want to pull this one. This is beam 3, and I'm going to do a trim, pull that to here. Okay, and I'm going to do a replace face to pull that to here. Our shows our lumber here. It doesn't show the direct size. You can, there is a function in which you can tell it to show direct size, but I don't need that. And that is proper. You can go to properties here, and you go to standard, and you can say length, but this is not going to be accurate because I will do some replace faces, and it doesn't account for that. So we'll keep that the same as it is. All right, so now we got to pull this face to this face. Let's use a replace face here. Click there. Faces to replace with this guy. Okay, and we see there's some interference. We can fix that in a minute. So now we're going to do replace face, this face, replace with this face. Okay, and now we want to pull this face down flush with that face, replace face. So using right mouse button to rotate that, and then you can zoom in and out with middle mouse button. Then replace face with that guy. Okay. Now we want to get rid of this interference here. So we will do a boolean, a subtraction. And so here's boolean, subtract, and we will keep the tool. So the tool is this guy, and then the target is this guy. And is that how we want it? Actually, we want it opposite. So the tool would be this guy, and the target would be this guy. Yep, we want to keep this flat. We just want to trim that angle on the very front. All right, so now that's one side of our bench, and this would be the very front of our bench. Okay, and we can add a nice little radius on the very front of that. Don't know if this is going to hurt me later. Erase that. All right, so now we can duplicate this, and we'll push it 24 inches over to one side. So let's do a transform. We're going to copy all these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to translate by distance, direction. We'll choose the direction. Is you can just click on any line that is going that same direction. All right, and then we will choose 24 inches, and I will flip it the other way, clicking that little arrow right there. Middle mouse button, kind of pan it back in place, and then that's 24 inches. Let me choose OK. It totally disappeared. That's a common mistake I seem to make. But anyway, just hit that copy part right there. Okay, and then it came back. All right, so I want to measure the distance from here to that inner edge right here. So let's do that. Measure down here in inch, length unit, inches. Click on that face, that edge, either one's fine. 22.5. So we could add 1.5 inch additional. So get out of that. Let's go back to that transformation, and we will put in 25.5. Okay, and now that should be the proper length. We can double check if we really want to. That face to this face. All right, we are at 24 inches. Good, perfect. All right, so now let's start with our next thing. We're going to build our seating platform where we're going to sit. So spacebar to get out, unselect that guy. So now we got both arms on the chair. Now we're going to create a line that goes across from this face to this face. Okay, so let's go with, we want it on the flat face, which is this one right here. So we're going to go with sketch on that face right there. We're going to normalize this to left. And now we're going to grab a line, take a line from this edge to this edge, and L to get out of that. We're going to hit D for dimension, here to here. And we're going to do, this is 12 inches tall. Now you can totally adjust this to whatever height you want for your seat. So we're going to have this, 12 inches there. Okay, so now we can start putting our 2x4 in here. Let's go to beam. I'm going to click on this line right here, and it shows us that it's slightly off here. We can just grab it and then throw it back in, and we can go straight down. That way the top of this is at 12 inches. So from this edge to this edge is 12 inches. We're good. Okay. Now we can put another one back here. So let's do a transform. And we will do a translate by XYZ. Copy this part. And we're going to do, it's an X direction, positive X. So we're going to go with 24. Let's see how far 24 looks. We'll probably go a little bit farther because we actually wanted to go into that other one. So maybe 25. Let's do 25.5. There we go. Okay. Now we want to build another one going across here, connecting these two together. All right. So what I can do is draw a line from those two. So let me do a sketch on that surface right there. And I would draw a line from this point to this point. L to get out. We can finish that sketch. Now we're going to go to beam. Click on this guy. Pull him down. Pull him inboard. Okay. So now we're going to do a transform. This right here. X, Y, Z, and it's going to be negative Y. So negative 22.5, and I want to copy that part. All right, so there's that. So now we got our box for our seat. Now we need to put our 2x4s on top here. So what I can do is build a 2x4 on the very front edge here. So let's go to beam. Let's click on this. Let's pull it up. Let's rotate it. So let's go over here to angles. We're going to click on 90. Okay. We're going to pull it up this way. And yes, looks good. Click OK. So I created our first beam. What we can do is we can do an instance of this, and we can copy it multiple times over. First, I want to kind of build the backrest portion, because I want to put that into this 2x4 right here. So it's going to share the 2x4, so it's going to be a cutout. So I'm going to build that right now. So I'm going to go with sketch, click on this face right here. And if this confuses you or it's in the way, you can just hide this. So all these 2x4s are down here on the lower left. What we can do is, let me get out of the sketch real quick. That was sketch 4. Now I can click on each one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit my Y key. That will hide them. Okay. We can hide that if we wanted to. Just click there. Not the whole thing. Okay, we can hide this guy if we want to. Just click and then Y to hide that. All right. So now let's say I want to go back to that sketch 4, and I want to create a line from, let's say, this point right here all the way up. So let's start that. I can click on front and right here, and then we'll just push it up, hit L to get out of that. I will trim that. So what I will do is I'll create a line here and just throw a line there, L to get out of that, D for dimension. Let's take a dimension from here to here, and we want this, let's say 24 inches. Now we can do a trim, and then we can trim all that up. So trim, and then we can actually trim that guy. So we know this is 24 inches now. And if we want, we can re-add that dimension. Okay. Escape to get out of that. All right, now we gotta, let's position this guy. Let's push him from there to there. Let's say that's 4 inches. Okay, and then we'll change the degree. Let's see if I can do here to here, 10 degrees. Now you can adjust this to do whatever you want if you feel 10 degrees is not enough. All right, so I finished that sketch. Now I will go and do a 2x4 beam. Okay, click on that guy, and we can see that it is sitting in here, and it is half of it, which is exactly what we want. We want to make a cutout in this guy, and then this guy will sit into that guy. Okay, so, and then we can adjust this back and forth if we wanted to. I think this is good right here. Okay, I'm gonna say okay. Now we want to find where these both are intersecting, and we want to build a, the piece that intersects, and you subtract that later. So let's go to Boolean, let's go to intersect. We're going to keep the tools, this guy and this guy intersecting. Okay, and now if we hide this guy, let's left click on this, let's hit Y. We'll see that little blue solid in there. I want to create a copy of this, so let's create a transform. I'm going to click on this guy right here, and then we're going to transform it by copy and place. Okay, so now there should be 2 of these pieces inside of here. So now we're going to do a subtraction. So Boolean subtract our tool, and then our target. Click on that, target. Nope. This guy. Vice versa, I have to do opposite. So our tool is this guy, and our target is this guy. So okay, and it subtracted out the first one. Now we have to pull back that piece that we hid. Let's go over here. Let's go down here and click on this little slashed out eyeball. Uncheck that, or we're going to check that, and it will show it. So now we're going to subtract this from the hidden piece. So let's hide this. So left click, Y to hide. And now we can take this and we can subtract out that chunk right there. So let's go to Boolean, subtraction, target, tool, tool. All right, it's okay. And we see that subtracted out. We see a little little piece right here, and we can actually remove that now. Let's go with we can do a replace face, and we can click on the first top face. We can slide it over, rotation with the right mouse button. Click on that bottom edge and say okay. Click on that face right there, and then we click on the second face, and then it subtracts out that piece. Okay. All right, so next is we want to bring back that hidden rail. Let's go down here to lumber. Let's click on the little eyeball. Let's click on the little eyeball here. Okay, and now we're going to hide this guy. So left click this, Y, and we can see that we need to remove that. So let's go with the replace face of that. So we're going to click on this guy right here, replace face with rotation, right, using the right mouse button. Click on that guy, say okay. And there we are. So we have the slot inside of there. So now let's pull back that hidden piece. Right there. Click on eye. All right. So now we have we can move this in there, and we can do a transform. And we're going to transform this. We can do in the positive Y direction, and should be 0.75. We're not going to copy part, just say okay. So that moved it inside of there. All right, and we can see that it's now sitting in there. Perfect. All right. So now let's do the same thing with the other side. And the best way to do that is let's mirror this. So we're going to actually, let's click on this guy right here, and we just find out what beam that is. Or actually, that's a transform. I can actually just click on that transform, delete that transform. Now let's pull back these other pieces. I want to get a nice plane that I can mirror from. So let's show all these. Okay, and then this was 24 inches from this to this. So I want to go with plane from this surface right here, and I want to do 12 inches. Okay, say okay, and now I can do a mirror. So the mirror is right here. We're going to click on this guy and this guy, and we're going to mirror about this new plane that we created. Say okay, and we see that's now created and good. Now we can create a plane. I'm sorry. Now we can create a sketch on this top surface right here. So let's go to sketch, click on that top surface, and now we can click on top here. So we want to get this point right here connected with that point. So let's go to line. We're actually going to go with the outside edge of it. So there to here, and hit L to get out of that. Now we can finish the sketch. We're going to hit beam, click on that, and we can fix this now. So pull up, pull it over. Okay, looks good. Finish. Okay, green check. Now we can add our 2x4s like this guy right here. We can do instance of that, and let's add one 2x4 right here. Let's do that first. Beam, click on this line right here, pulling it out. We're going to push it down, and we're going to do rotation, so we can do angle. Let's try 90 and see what 90 looks like. This can be negative 90 actually, and then we can pull this out. We saw it recessed into it. Okay, so now it's good. Say okay. Now we have our first one here, and we can do an instance of this. So let's go and do a linear pattern. When I say instance, I mean a copy, so another instance. So okay, now we're going to go pattern. Just going to click on that guy right there. Direction is going to be down here using this line right here, and we're going to do a distance of, let's try 3.5, and instance count is, let's say 4. We got to flip it. All right, we're going to change this to 4.5. There we are. And maybe instances are changed to 5. Okay, this might start interfering with this other one. Well, let's see. We'll keep that at 5. And let's go with the other one. So let's do instance of this guy. Let's do the linear pattern. Clicking that guy. We're going to give it direction, which is right there. And we're going to give it 4.5 inches. And you could space this out even more if you wanted. And then instance count, let's go with 4 right now. Let's see what happens. All right, yeah, that looks real good. So 4 doesn't interfere with the other one. And let's finish okay. All right, so now we have a completed chair. If we want to, we can add some more, some radiuses and stuff to this and make it a little softer on our, when we're building it. Softer on the, the edges are more soft, or whatever you want to do. You can make this however you want. But yeah, so this is 24 inches from one side to the other side. So you put a 24-inch cushion in there. Let's check the distance from here to here. And that is 19. So you may want to build this a little bit longer to be able to put on a true 24-inch cushion. So 24 by 24 is usually the size. I think they do is 17 by 17 or 24 by 24, I think, are the common numbers and sizes. So if we needed to, we could reduce the size, the width of this to the 17-inch, or we could update this chair to accept that 24, or you can make your own. You can do whatever size you want. That is create a chair using the beam tool in Onshape. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is a very powerful tool. I like it a lot. I hope others are able to use it. So thanks for watching. Bye.